Question number 1. What advice would you give to a freshman going into high school? Question 2. Do you think teenagers should have social media, yes or no? Question 3. There is less God in school. What do you think kids should do about it?
Okay, I'm gonna go with question 2. That was about can you repeat the questions? I literally forgot what they were. Question 2 is about what?
Social media.
Social media? Okay, I'm gonna go with question 2. Okay. Whether you have Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, or Be Real, social media takes up so much of our everyday lives. And it has just become a natural thing for us teenagers to be snapping away and constantly consumed by our phones. I personally believe that it is only something that's negatively affecting our generation, and there's science to back all that up. The amount of sleep that we're losing each year, the amount of increased depression and loneliness, even though we're connecting more through our screens, we're connecting less in person, which also was heavily affected by COVID-19. But I think a lot of that was based on our phones, and we've just become so used to a different type of connection that only further pulls us apart. I just remember sitting in class one day and we're all like finishing class early and everyone just goes on their phones and no one communicates with one another. That's so sad that nowadays we can't even form a sentence to talk to one another, and we can't have those moments of real, genuine connection. I also think social media can become so toxic when there's certain beauty standards that are being pushed on kids that are so young and so innocent. And the thing about beauty standards is that no one fits the bill. So, even the Kardashians, like, they don't look the way they look in their magazines and in their photo shoots because they themselves are being heavily manipulated through Photoshop and stuff like that. And so if they can't even succeed the beauty standard, then it's like, why are all of we subject to a standard that you can only achieve through massive editing skills and high-tech cameras? All in all, I think that when kids are spending more time on their phones and less time with one another, we are losing the smiles that we all need, the hugs. We're missing all of the, eye contact and like true human connection. Sometimes I wish that I was born in another generation, that I was born when social media didn't exist. That although there's positive things that social media does for us, like, we can stay connected, through a pandemic, and we can text, and we can do all those things on our phone, which is very convenient. But I think it's like how we overuse those certain things that it just becomes too much. I recently read an article that was saying that on average, kids are spending like 7 6, 8 hours a day on their phones, and that's just like at least bare minimum, and that is incredibly wasteful. You know, there's so many things that we can be doing with our lives besides social media, besides spending time on our phones. And you know, like that's as long as like a school day. You know, if something like that is taking up so much of our time, I can't help but think it's, you know, almost an idol in our lives. So I think for all of us, no matter how old we are, what generation we're in, what activities we have going on, what life circumstances we have, I think we need to look back on our lives and see what things are we spending our time on. And I can't help but think that if we're spending 6 to 8 hours on social media, then there's something in our lives that we're not prioritizing. There's someone like God, there's like our health, there's real human connection. There's something in our lives that we are missing out on. And I just hope that each one of you can have a good relationship with your phone, with your social media, and you don't feel the constant urge to need it in your back pocket or, you know, at least 6 feet away. I hope that we can become a generation where we can use technology and we can experience the good things that it offers, but we are not subject to its intense negative effects on us, and we don't need it to survive, but we use it to thrive in our lives. I specifically deleted all my social media, and that's just the best fit for me. But I would encourage you guys to just make decisions that are right for you, and whether that's, you know, having social media and using it for good to spread positivity, or using your phone to, you know, make new friends and stay connected and do schoolwork, prepare for the SAT, different stuff you can do. There's so many opportunities on your device, but just limiting yourself and knowing that life without a phone is okay and it is possible, and it may be the right fit for you, and taking breaks is always a good thing. Not needing to be on it all the time, just like going a weekend without it and just like experiencing life, you know, breathing in and out. I don't know, when I deleted social media, it felt like I was living for the first time again, and I wasn't worried about the way I appeared, the way I was living my life, the things that I was doing, because I knew none of it was being documented or no one needed to hear about it, and I just could be me and I could live my own life. So if that's something that you feel like God has been putting on your heart, I would really encourage you to like think about the things that you're spending your time on and the things that maybe you need to start prioritizing God in those areas and using your time for God's glory and for your own true happiness and your own experiences to actually live a life that's worthwhile, and using your time to make an impact on this world. And yeah, so I hope you guys know that no matter what new trend is going on social media, you'll hear about it eventually, and there's no real need to be spending so much of your time on something that probably in 20 years won't even really matter anymore, because there'll be something new that we'll be all wasting our time on. But hopefully by then we'll figure things out and we'll use our time for God and for God's glory alone.